Ekam aksharam hृदि nirantaram bhavasate swayam likyate katham hridaya kuhar madhye kevalam brahmamatram sakshat atmarupena bhati hृदि vishamanasastvam चिन्वता मच्चिता पवन चलन आत्मनिष्ठो देहं जडात्मकम् अहं बुद्धिर्न तस्यास्त्यतो नाहं तत्तभावशुक्तिसमये सिद्धात्मसद्भाव ओहं भावयुतः कुतो वरधिय दृष्टात्मनिष्टात्मनो सोहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचल शिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयं सोहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचल शिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयं. Namo Ramana. In this, the Thursday Satsang from Ramanacentre for Learning, it has been our practice to select two verses from the work Guru Vachaka Kove, rendered by Muruganar Swamigal in verse form. The verses are selected at random by Revatima for us. Each verse is read and the verse reading is followed by a short meditation on its meaning, and that will be followed by the practice of Atma Vicharam for about 15 minutes. After these two segments of verse reading, the meditation on the meaning and the practice of self-enquiry are completed, there will be summing up remarks by Sri Venkatesh Deshpande ji, and that will be followed by the offering of Sri Ramana Stotram. The chanting will be by Vaibhavji and Pratnama online. Our puja team should be here anytime. If they do come, then the floral offerings will be by Manjunath ji from right here. We begin the satsang by taking up verse number 561 selected for us. We find this verse in the middle segment, meditation on the truth. The first segment is investigation into truth, followed by meditation on the truth, and the last is anubhava or experience of the truth. This 561 we find in the subsegment waking and dream. Waking and dream, Jagrat and Swapna. The marvelous power of mind Maya, the marvelous power of mind Maya, which destabilizes us by fabricating all manifestation in the empty space, Shunya, that flourishes in the false darkness of ignorance, is such that it can confuse a fraction of a second with a kalpa and a kalpa with a fraction of a second, representing each as the other. The marvelous power of mind Maya, which destabilizes us by fabricating all manifestations in the empty space Shunya, that flourishes in the false darkness of ignorance, is such that it can confuse a fraction of a second with a kalpa and a kalpa with a fraction of a second, representing each as the other. There is a narrative of an experience by H.W.L. Punjaji, where sitting in front of Ganges in a few minutes, he sees his whole life from the basic mineral form to the human form that he has presently taken, which is running to kalpas. The understanding here is that what we set as 15 minutes, 10 minutes, and all is only with reference to the Vyavaharika Satya. We were discussing when the meeting was being set up that we needed 2 more minutes, and we inquired of each other whether that 2 minutes is in this world. Now that is what is being presented in the shloka, that now when you are in the thought-free state, when you are in self-attention, the difference between one moment and the entire creation's end-to-end time is gone. The self-attention is beyond the 1 second and from all time, from this end to that end of creation. Because the self is both the Ugamasthana and the Antimasthana or Astamanasthana of both the mind and the creation. Bhagavan says that this is the essence of Bhagavan's teachings captured in a paragraph for us. Bhagavan says each one of us sees the seer and the seen and take both to be real. But if they were to be real, that is, the seer and the seen world having been created for billions and trillions of years, if both were to be real, then both should be appearing in all the 3 states of waking, dream, and deep sleep. This segment is about Swapna and Jagrat. But the seer and seen is found bound by time, either of a moment or of a kalpa, only in the waking and dream. In deep sleep, there is no sense of seer and seen or of time. Nobody knows how much time we slept unless we look back at the clock. Similar is the state in meditation, in Atma Vicharam. How many kalpas you have spent, you should not know. But when the clock comes back, we come back to this dimension. The moment can be replaced by kalpa, the kalpa can be replaced by moment. In fact, the whole area of time is not present in self-attention. Namandri, Nadedu, Nadedu, Bhagavan says. That the whole of created universe, either in this dimension or in any dimension, to whatever extent that time may be, is not present, is all anatma, is tat jadam, here sat, it does not exist when one is abiding in the self. So that is the essence we have to carry, that where we are going in self-inquiry is a dimension where the whole area of time has been transcended. Why is that not an anubhava for us now? Because the parichaya with the self of all is not yet very firm and clear. With the practice of Atma Vicharam, the detachment from the non-self becoming clear, the ignorance of attachment to the non-self becoming demolished, one naturally abides in the self, where there is neither the movement nor the kalpa. Now that will be our direct experience when the spurana is held and the I am the body idea is demolished. Let us sit in Atma Vicharam for about 15 minutes. Ujjwalji, you can set the time for us. I think we can set the time ourselves. I'll chant Omkaram at the end of 15 minutes. No problem. No, please do so. Thank you.
Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramanaya.
We proceed with the second verse selected for us, verse number 913. Verse number 913 is in the segment Experience of the Truth. It is in the subsegment Non-Association, Asanga. Asangoham. Verse number 913. I'm sorry, it is in the Stilling the Mind. Stilling the Mind, the next segment. For those whose minds stagger around in a chaotic way, everything will prove contrary. For those whose minds stagger in a chaotic way, everything will prove contrary. There is a note by Muruganar. Only through the quietude of mind will there be any consistency in your experience. Conversely, there will be no peace for those who possess an ego mind that staggers around in chaos under the sway of vasanas. They will never attain a state that is in harmony with their experience. Although in their outward turned viewpoint, they have many potential sense pleasures, all will prove contrary to their expectations. At the root of the sadhana, what is the essential pointer, the essential requirement? When a question is asked to Bhagavan, that is there any point in learning Shastras over and over with more and more books? Bhagavan says that all the books point out that the sadhana is to quieten the mind, to still the mind. Once that is understood, where is the point in reading books endlessly, it says. Therefore, in that sentence we get that at the root of all sadhana is a still mind. In this verse, even if everything is in order in the sensory world for somebody, what happens if their mind is moving in a chaotic way without stillness? For them, insofar as ನಾನು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ, ಇವಾಗ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೇಡಿ, ಇವಾಗ ಸತ್ಸಂಗ್ ಇದೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ, ನೀವು ಇರಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ಇರಿ. If the mind is still, then any chaos in the sensory world will also be handled as quiet, as something that has not taken place at all. Whereas when in the sensory world everything is calm and quiet and everything is at peace, but if the mind is moving in a chaotic way, then to that person, to others, to onlookers, it will feel this person is in the most comfortable of positions. Everything is conducive to calmness, quietness, peace. But then his mind will be running in such a way that he will not be able to experience that peace. So here by comparing the sensory experience and the stillness of the mind, Bhagavan and Muruganar are giving us an overall view. Even in sensory world, what the sadhus would do, they would deliberately choose discomfort over comfort. They will deliberately choose a hard place. They will deliberately choose where sun is beating down. They will deliberately choose to keep themselves in poverty. But since their mind and ego are still, they won't feel any of this. These are always potential. What is the worst thing that can happen in this monetary world? You can be penniless. They will go there. And to the still mind, it does not matter, is what they want to understand. That the sensory experience is finite, it is going to end, whereas the mental quantitude should not be pledged at any cost. So, therefore, this verse highlights how important it is to still the mind, to still the eye, not to worry what is happening in the sensory world. In the sensory world, right now, we know what are all happening, but not allow the mind to dwell on it, because we saw in the previous verse, this is happening in a short period of a year, 15 months, 10 months, 2 months, 3 months. Whereas, where are we taken in Atmavachara? It is to a place where this whole eons of time, the whole question of time is not there. Therefore, how important it is to quieten the mind, one can understand from the preceding verse. And irrespective of what is happening in the sensory area, maintain the stillness of the eye. And that is the practice we will be doing in Atmavcharam over the next 15 minutes or so. Let us still the eye, that whenever the eye wants to go after the thought, by asking, for whom is this thought? Who am I? What is the truth of this eye? When the truth of the eye is sought, the eye is stilled. So, irrespective of the sensory experiences, one finds the peace of the self. That's where we are going to practice with effort for the next 15 minutes or so. We'll request Ujjalji to set the time for it once again. Namo Ramana. May I request Venkatesh Deshpande ji to give us the summing up remarks. Namo Ramana sir.
Namo Ramana. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jnanamulam Guror Murtihi Pujamulam Guror Padam Mantramulam Gururvakyam Mokshamulam Gurur Kripaha Mokshamulam Gurur Kripaha. Ramana. When we were young, our parents used to say, come on, Venkatesh, go and play for 20 minutes. Only 20 minutes. You can play with your friends tomorrow. You have to sleep early. You have to get up early to go to school. So 20 minutes used to play. As I peep out of the window, you can hear a lot of children also playing outside. So what happens? When you go out and you're free and you're enjoying your time, and after 20 minutes, your parents come, my mother comes, come on, 20 minutes are over. So fast. How did 20 minutes pass? It looks like we just started playing, Mummy, to tell our mother. We just started playing the game. We need 10 more minutes. Mother will say, okay, take 5 more minutes. After 5 minutes again, no, we're just halfway completed the game. We need some more time. So what would happen? The time would just, because of our carefree, we're just enjoying ourselves. Time would just fly. We wouldn't even realize how time went by. And same situation in a hospital. Let's look at the hospital scenario. Sitting outside the ICU. Somebody is inside. And then you can only see that red light outside the ICU. And you're sitting outside. Every minute feels like an hour. Why is the doctor not coming out and telling us what is happening? He does not even. So it feels like an hour. It feels very, very heavy. But then after some time, the nurse comes out and says, things are going well. Operation is going well. And that same time, that 1 minute which felt like 5 hours, now that 1 minute feels, doesn't feel so long. It feels better. Your mind has just relaxed a little bit more. But still you're anxious. But then your anxiety level has come down. And suddenly what happens? The doctor comes out and says, the operation was successful. But still we have to wait for the next 1 hour is very crucial for the patient. So the mind still settles down. It starts relaxing. Now the same mind, the same person has different data points. Initially it's very, very tense. We don't know what's happening. Nothing. We know information from the operation room. So very anxious. That same 1 minute seems like 1 hour or 5 hours. And then what happens? The nurse comes out and says, oh yes, it's going well. Then your mind relaxes a little bit. And when the doctor comes out and says, successful operation, the mind relaxes further. And then when your relative or the patient comes out, you're happy and the mind seems to relax. So everything is really a play of the mind, if you really see. The child scenario or the outside the ICU, what happened? It was the data which was coming to the mind was determining how you react. So either it was in pieces or it was happy. Sometimes it was happy. But there were some inconsistencies in the experiences. Just because of the data that was coming to you, there were inconsistencies in the experiences. But look at it. Twice we did self-inquiry just now. Every time you dipped in and asked, who am I? What was the experience? The experience was consistent. Every time you dipped into the silence, you felt that experience of silence. And every time thought came up, you asked, who am I? When you went into that silence, that experience was the same for each one of us in this satsang. When each one of us asked, who am I? You went into that silence, which is the real silence, the silence that experience for each one of us was the same. That stillness, it wasn't that the stillness for somebody else was different and for somebody else was different. That stillness was the same. As we went deeper and deeper into the stillness. So here is the situation. Bhagavan says that if you want to have consistency in your experiences, in whatever you're trying to do, hold on to the self. Atmanishto bhavatvam. Hold on to the self. Then whatever happens outside doesn't matter. Because you will be experiencing that from the stillness. You will be experiencing everything from that peace. When you're experiencing that from peace, then whatever experience may be outside, it doesn't matter. Because you will consistently, if it's a happy situation, also you will be in the same experience of stillness. If the bad situation, also you will be in that experience of stillness. So then you will carry your weather wherever you go. It doesn't matter if it's a happy situation or a sad situation. That's why Bhagwan wants us to do. He wants us to hold on to that stillness so that whatever experience we have, whether that 1 minute feels like an hour or the 1 minute feels like 1 minute, you will be consistent in your experiences. Om Namo Bhagavate Ramana. Namo Ramana.
Namo Ramana, sir. That was wonderful. Thank you so much. May I request Vaibhavji and Prarthnama to take us through the chanting of Ashtotram. Manjunathji is ready here. Namo Ramana, sir.
नमो रमण भारद्वाज विश्वनाथ विरचितं श्रीरमणाष्टोत्तर शतनामावलिः अपार सच्चित् सुखवारिराशे यस्योर्मिमात्रं भुवनं समस्तं गुहाहितं तं रमणं गभीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि ॐ महासेन महोंसेन जाताय नमः ॐ श्रीरमणाय नमः ॐ गुरवे नमः ॐ अखण्डसंविदाकाराय नमः ॐ महौजसे नमः ॐ कारणोद्भवाय नमः ॐ जगद्हितावताराय नमः ॐ श्रीभूमिनाथस्थलोत्थिताय नमः ॐ पराशरकुलोत्तंसाय नमः ॐ सुन्दरार्यतपःफलाय नमः ॐ कमनीयसुचारित्राय नमः ॐ सहायाम्बा सहायवते नमः ॐ शोणाचलमहोलीनमानसाय नमः ॐ स्वर्णहस्तकाय नमः ॐ श्रीमद्द्वादशान्तमहास्थले लब्धविद्योदयाय नमः ॐ महाशक्तिनिपातेन प्रबुद्धाय नमः ॐ परमार्थविदे नमः ॐ तीव्राय नमः ॐ पितृपदान्वेषिणे नमः ॐ इन्दुमौलिना पितृमते नमः ॐ पितुरादेशतः शोणशैलं प्राप्ताय नमः ॐ तपोमयाय नमः ॐ उदासीनाय नमः ॐ महायोगिने नमः ॐ महोत्साहाय नमः ॐ कुशाग्रये नमः ॐ शान्तसङ्कल्पसंरम्भाय नमः ॐ सुसन्द्रशे नमः ॐ सवित्रे नमः। ॐ स्थिराय नमः। ॐ तपक्षपितसर्वाङ्गाय नमः। ॐ फुल्लाम्बुजविलोचनाय नमः। ॐ चन्द्रिकासितहासश्रीमण्डिताननमण्डलाय नमः। ॐ चूतवाक्यां समासीनाय नमः। ॐ चूडिताखिलविभ्रमाय नमः। ॐ वेदवेदान्ततत्त्वज्ञाय नमः। ॐ चिन्मुद्रिणे नमः। ॐ त्रिगुणातिगाय नमः। ॐ विरूपाक्षगुहावासाय नमः। ॐ विराजतचलाकृतये नमः। ॐ उद्दीप्तनयनाय नमः। ॐ पूर्णाय नमः। ॐ रचिताचलताण्डवाय नमः। ॐ गम्भीराय नमः। ॐ परमाचार्याय नमः। ॐ सुप्रसन्नाय नमः। ॐ अभयप्रदाय नमः। ॐ दक्षिणास्य निभाय नमः। ॐ धीराय नमः। ॐ दक्षिणाभिमुखाय नमः। ॐ स्वराजे नमः। ॐ महर्षये नमः। ॐ भगवते नमः। ॐ ईड्याय नमः। ॐ भूमविद्याशारदाय नमः। ॐ विमलाय नमः। ॐ दीर्घदर्शिने नमः। ॐ आप्ताय नमः। ॐ ऋजुमार्गप्रदर्शकाय नमः। ॐ समदृशे नमः। ॐ सत्यदृशे नमः। ॐ सत्याय नमः। ॐ प्रशान्ताय नमः। ॐ अमितविक्रमाय नमः। ॐ सुकुमाराय नमः। ॐ सदानन्दाय नमः। ॐ मृदुभाषिणे नमः। ॐ दयार्णवाय नमः। ॐ श्रीशोणाचलहृद्बोधस्कन्दाश्रमनिकेतनाय नमः। ॐ सद्दर्शनोपदेश्रे नमः। ॐ सद्भक्तवृन्दपरिवृताय नमः। ॐ गणेशमुनिभृङ्गेन सेविताङ्घ्रिसरोरुहाय नमः। ॐ गीतोपदेशसारादिग्रन्थसञ्चिन्नसंशयाय नमः। ॐ वर्णाश्रममतातीताय नमः। ॐ रसज्ञाय नमः। ॐ सौम्याय नमः। ॐ आत्मवते नमः। ॐ सर्वावनिमतस्थानाम् आराध्याय नमः। ॐ सर्वसद्गुणिने नमः। ॐ आत्मारामाय नमः। ॐ महाभागाय नमः। ॐ मातृमुक्तिविधायकाय नमः। ॐ विनताय नमः। ॐ विनुताय नमः। ॐ विप्राय नमः। ॐ मुनीन्द्राय नमः। ॐ पावकोज्ज्वलाय नमः। ॐ दर्शनादकसंहारिणे नमः। ॐ मौनेन स्वात्मबोधकाय नमः। ॐ ऋचान्तिकरसान्निध्याय नमः। ॐ स्मरणाद्वन्द्वमोचकाय नमः। ॐ अन्तस्तिमिरचण्डांशवे नमः। ॐ संसाराणवतारकाय नमः। ॐ शोणादृशस्तुतिद्रष्टे नमः। ॐ हार्दविद्याप्रकाशकाय नमः। ॐ अविच्युतनिजप्रज्ञाय नमः। ॐ नैसर्गिकमहातपसे नमः। ॐ कमण्डलुधराय नमः। ॐ शुभ्रकौपीनवसनाय नमः। ॐ गुहाय नमः। ॐ दण्डपाणये नमः। ॐ कृपापूर्णाय नमः। ॐ भवरोगविषग्वराय नमः। ॐ स्कन्दाय नमः। ॐ देवतमाय नमः। ॐ अमर्त्याय नमः। ॐ सेनान्ये नमः। ॐ पुरुषोत्तमाय नमः। ॐ श्रीरमणभगवते नमः। श्रीरमणाष्टोत्तरशतनामपूजां समर्पयामि। यस्थानोररुणाचलस्य पदयोः नित्याजनिं प्राप्यत दिव्यानुग्रहसुप्रवाहविवशस्तादात्म्यभावं गतः निर्निष्ठस्वगभीरनित्यतपसा लोकान् पुनःसेकरात् तस्मै श्रीरमणाय ते नमः इदं लोकोत्तरज्योतिषे। ॐ नमो भगवते श्रीरमणाय।
Namo 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 ನಮೋ ರಮಣ.
ನಮೋ ರಮಣ ಅಕ್ಕ, ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮೋ ರಮಣ.
ನಮೋ ರಮಣ ಸರ್, ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮೋ ರಮಣ.
ರಮಣ.